Jeff, we have Jeff up here with us.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for being here. Well, here we go again, right? Winter weather is set to take another swipe at Lexington, and that's today and tomorrow. And I want all of our residents to know that our salt barns are full, our first responders are ready to go, and our streets and roads employees are already hard at work. Before we begin today, I do want to thank Waste Management, our Office of Homelessness Prevention and Intervention, Streets and Roads, Fleet Services, Environmental Services, Water Quality, Parks, Fire, Police, Emergency Management, and everyone else in our government who has played a role in responding to this week's weather emergency. As I said earlier in the week, it's all hands on deck. And their jobs are not easy, especially in the frigid weather. And I am so thankful for their commitment to our community. Also, I want to give a big thank you to our residents. I want to thank people for staying off the roads when we requested that, to allow our first responders and our road crews to safely do their jobs. And if possible, I want you to continue that. Thank you for your patience as we navigate this challenging weather together. There are approximately 1,200 road miles in Lexington. That's how many street miles we have. This is an unusual situation with the extended cold, ice, and multiple snow events. We're using all our resources and available personnel, but we must concentrate on our busiest, most traveled roads. With more snow, this whole process starts all over again. Today, I'm once again joined by representatives from various city departments to discuss our weather plans. Director of Emergency Management, Rob Larkin, is here, along with our Director of Streets and Roads, Rob Allen. Lexington Police Chief Lawrence Weathers is here with us, along with Fire Chief Jason Wells. Housing Advocacy and Community Development Commissioner Charlie Lanter is here, and he has with him Jeff Herron, who's in charge of our homelessness office. We are also joined by Commissioner of General Services, Chris Ford, and our new Director of Waste Management, Antonio Balden. He's just getting thrown right in the mix, right from the beginning. And so anyway, before we get started with updates from our team, I want to make a couple of announcements. I am going ahead and extending the snow emergency until Monday. Included in this is a temporary suspension of the requirement to clear sidewalks for property owners. Clean sidewalks definitely are important, but right now it is dangerous for people to get out and try to clear all of them. Waste Management is running the Tuesday, Friday waste pickups today. No recycling, no yard waste. And will stay on course as the winter storm arrives. If the weather becomes too intense, our waste management folks will suspend operations for the day, and we will let you know. We've looked into complaints about parking citations for people who have not moved their vehicles in 24 hours, which is what the ordinance requires. These tickets have been issued by LexPark. These will not be enforced, but if you got a ticket, you need to contact LexPark to get your ticket forgiven. Please call them at 859-231-7275. I will say we ask you to please try to move your vehicle out of the right-of-way and especially off of snow emergency routes. Now let's get started with the team. Here today to give us an update on the weather forecast is Emergency Management Director Rob Larkin. We're depending on you for the latest and greatest. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Gordon. So I think everyone knows a winter storm warning is in effect. That started at 4 o'clock this morning and will go until 7 a.m. Saturday morning, January 11th. We expect snow early this afternoon, so really just about any time. And we expect that snow to end early Saturday morning. Expected snowfall for this storm is 3 to 6 inches. So as far as emergency management goes, our Emergency Operations Center is warmed up, and we are continuously monitoring the weather. Winter Storm Cora, like I said before, will leave 3 to 6 inches of new snow on top of our current snow and ice totals. But we do not expect any further ice or sleet with this storm, thankfully. Snowfall will impact evening commute and make travel hazardous. So if at all possible, limit your travel this afternoon and early this evening. And if you must travel, use extreme caution. Take your time. Watch out for other drivers and especially our pedestrians. So that's all I have for today, Mayor. Please be safe.
Thank you so much, Rob. I just learned that we have a couple of our new council members with us today. Councilmember Amy Beasley's here, and Councilmember Emma Curtis. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it. We have used approximately 1,800 tons of salt this week, and we have approximately 6,200 tons on hand. Our Director of Streets and Roads, Rob Allen, is here to give us an update on the road conditions, and I know you and your folks and others have been working really hard, so what's the latest?
Thank you, Mayor. As of this morning, we're back on 2 12-hour shifts. Crews started pre-treating the roads, priority roads in the snow plan with salt and beat heat. We will continue 12-hour shifts throughout the event until the plan is executed. We still continue, or we're trying to focus on also on streets that have school bus routes that are not part of the snow plan. We'll continue to work on those as we can, and as the mayor said, we do have plenty of salt. We've taken delivery of over 3,000 tons this week. We got a tanker of beat heat in, so we have all the supplies we need. It's just a matter of executing and the temperatures hopefully cooperating. That's all.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rob. We really like that beat heat. Mm-hmm. Yes. Next, I'd like to welcome to the podium Police Chief Lawrence Weathers to give us a bit of a safety update. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. The Lexington Police Department is ready to serve our community during this next round of winter weather. We are ready to respond to weather-related incidents and calls for service. Our specialized traffic control equipment has been prepped and is ready to deploy. We ask everyone to avoid non-essential travel and stay off the roads during the storm. The best way to prevent issues on the roadway during the winter weather is to stay off the roadways. But if you must be on the roadways during the winter weather, here are some tips to remember. Clear your front and rear windshields and mirrors of snow and ice before driving. And if you think about it, and if you can, check the roof of your vehicles, see if you can clean those off too, because where we have had some icing, once you get to driving down the roadway, those big hunks fly off, and they could distract or even cause damage to some other vehicles or even pedestrians. So if you can get to that, please clear that off. Slow down. Slick or snow-covered surfaces make it harder to control or stop your vehicle. Increase the distance between you and the car in front of you. Don't crowd the snow plow or travel beside the plow unless passing. Have an emergency kit in your vehicle and include items like blankets, snow shovels, and ice scrapers, a phone charger, a flashlight, and more if you can think about it. Check the weather and road conditions before you head out. And please do not call 911 for road condition updates. You can find the latest on city snow removal, delays and closings, and view the live traffic cameras at lexingtonky.gov/snow updates. Winter weather can be challenging. It can be challenging for everyone. We ask that you check on your neighbors, especially those who are vulnerable or having difficulty. If you need assistance or see someone who does, call 859-258-3600, or in an emergency, call 911. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief. Next, we'll hear from our Fire Chief, Jason Wells.
Good morning, everyone. The Lexington Fire Department is fully staffed and working closely with all of our city partners to meet the challenges of the inclement weather. We have made extended preparations to ensure adequate staffing for immediate responses to emergencies. We urge residents to use caution with home heating equipment. Space heaters need to have at least that 3-foot buffer from combustibles. Although it's always important to have working smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, I cannot stress enough how critically important it is when we have this type of weather and when individuals are using supplemental heating. And as a reminder, generators and barbecue grills need to be a safe distance outside the home. Residents need to keep in mind that with the freezing temperatures, there are going to be issues with frozen pipes. Never use an open flame to thaw frozen pipes. And as a side note, I'll add that there's a pretty predictable cycle when we have an extended period of cold followed by a warm-up. And that is that the water inside your pipes may freeze, it expands, it breaks the pipes, and then when it thaws, you'll have these water leaks. And so it's really, really important that people take the time to know where your water shutoffs are at this point in time. And finally, just as Chief Weathers said, make sure to keep an eye on your friends, your neighbors, check in on your elderly or less abled neighbors and friends, and obviously, let's keep those pets inside as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief Wells. I want to welcome Charlie Lanter. Charlie is my Commissioner of Housing Advocacy and Community Development, and I'd like for him to bring his update.
Thank you, Mayor. Our emergency winter weather plan for the homeless has been extended through next Friday, January 17th, because as we know, the snow is coming this weekend, but then if you look ahead to the forecast, the extraordinary temperatures are going to continue through all of next week. We continue to operate our winter shelter program using local hotels. That program has over 180 people now housed in it. In addition to that, we rely heavily on partners. The City of Lexington as a government cannot do this alone, and we're not doing this alone. We have got some amazing partners that have stepped up and really helped us, including Catholic Action Center, Hope Center, which does all of our outreach work, Bluegrass Care Navigators, Lexington Rescue Mission, AVOL, Arbor Youth Services, Greenhouse 17, New Beginnings, and Salvation Army. Every one of those organizations has taken on some responsibility for the management of the people staying in the hotels. In the case of Catholic Action Center, they have stepped up huge. That organization is housing 180 people in its own hotels, separate from our program. So that means there's a total of 360 people staying in hotels right now to stay safe from the cold weather. In order to support that work, we are announcing today that we're going to give $39,000 to the Catholic Action Center to offset their expenses in providing that service and to support their work as they support us, and we really appreciate what they're doing. So our efforts continue under the emergency plan for the next week. We will still be taking calls to sign up for the hotel program, although it is starting to run out of space. To enroll for that, you can call United Way's 211 hotline. Also, the city's 311 is the number to call to report someone who needs assistance or who may need to be touched by our street outreach teams and potentially get into a hotel or some other shelter. Appreciate you all, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Now, Our new Director of Waste Management is with us. His name is Antonio Balden. He has been with us about 2.5 months, so it's time for him to really get busy, right? I'd like for you to hear from Antonio and just give us an update on what's going on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Chief. Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to first say and echo what the mayor has already stated. Solid waste management is up and running. We are doing quad routes for Tuesday and Friday. Our hope and all intention, depending on the weather pattern and how that goes, is to ensure that all commodities as of Monday will be serviced. That will be garbage, recycling, and yard waste, along with our dumpster services for commercial businesses. Our staff, I would like to publicly thank them as well. Our support back office staff, of dispatchers. These are individuals that are not in the truck, but these are individuals that are crucial in making sure that solid waste operations for Lexington Fayette is moving. So I definitely want to say that. Some of the issues that I will say that we've experienced, we are dealing with tree limbs that have fallen. We've also dealt with freeze over on many streets. So with those two barriers, our men and women of waste management are steadily moving. We hope to have all routes of Tuesday and Friday collected today. If by chance there are streets that do not get treated in time or are treated and then we are unable to service them, we will definitely hope to get to them Monday morning. And that way garbage does not have to sit down long for our customers. So that is it from a update from me, from a waste management standpoint, and thank you all.
Thank you very much. I think the good news is if the garbage is sitting, it's frozen.
It's frozen and doesn't smell.
Right. We're thankful for small things. Finally, I would like for you to hear from my Commissioner of General Services, Chris Ford, who will update us on parks. Welcome.
Good morning. I'm here to share just a few updates related to our general services team. Before I get to parks, I want to speak operationally. Our team at the Fleet Services Maintenance Garage is scheduled to play its role in our community's weather response. We will begin this evening rotating 12-hour shifts to support our public work partners and our public safety partners in responding to this weather event. As it relates to parks and recreation, Raven Run and our golf courses, Raven Run Nature Sanctuary and our golf courses remain closed. And of course, that's due to ice accumulation and the continuing freezing temperatures. However, Heisel Park and McConnell Springs do remain open. Our maintenance teams continue to clean and remove debris in conditions as the conditions allow. If residents have any concerns to report, again, please report those to 311. And we will respond to those as soon as we can. We ask that you watch our park social media and city websites for any updates programmatically related to parks and recreation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. This team represents hundreds of government workers who are helping us during these storm emergencies, and I am so thankful for all of you and all of the people that you have in your divisions and departments, and we are very lucky here to have people who will do whatever it takes to get this job done. And as you can imagine, it's on kind of a daily, hourly sometimes basis, and they are able to be flexible and turn and do something different when they see the need. So I did want to give an extra thank you and note of appreciation to all of our employees. So again, if you can stay off the roads today, tomorrow, and Sunday, do it. check in with your neighbors, and we have quite a wealth of information and expertise right here with me. And so we'll take any questions. I want to remind residents, if they want to follow our snow updates, they can go to lexingtonky.gov, and there's a snow update banner right there on the homepage they can click on. So what questions do you have? Anything? Yes, ma'am?
I'm sure you've been getting a lot of calls from residents on the side streets and in the more residential areas. For folks who haven't seen any plows yet, what would be your message to them on the side roads?
Rob, do you have an update about the side roads? Of course, the first priority is always those main roads, you know, Main Street, Richmond Road, Nicholasville Road, you know, out Newtown Pike. Do you have anything to add about the neighborhoods?
Well, we have been working non-priority bus routes. The plan is not designed to treat every road in Lexington. We just can't do that. But if folks have a dangerous situation, we have been responding to all calls for a dangerous intersection or a hill. Those things are resources permitting. However, we've had to pull out of the neighborhoods right now, and we're back to the rank 1s and 2s. We're pre-treating. One of the reasons we started so early is we're hoping to get into the neighborhoods again by this evening.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, yes, I wanted to ask a little bit about sidewalks. I know you guys have been working hard on roads, and those sidewalks, private properties, obviously, they have a moment for them to clear it off, and
Yeah.
that's no emergency is done. But for city-managed sidewalks, I know you guys have like a ranking system online. What's the status of city-managed sidewalks? Are you guys focusing more on roads right now? What's kind of, I guess, the update for city-managed?
The question, I meant to repeat the question. Some folks told me with the other press conference they didn't know the question. So the question is about sidewalks, ranking, and you understand that we are relaxing the 24-hour requirement for property owners, particularly in neighborhoods, to do their sidewalks, but the plan for government and public sidewalks, and is that under your purview, Chris?
Yes, particularly on our downtown campus, we are trying our very, very best to keep those sidewalks clear. Our parks team on our downtown parks district, we're kind of doing the same. But as the mayor mentioned, in our neighborhood parks, it's going to be very similar to what we are now relaxing for our residential neighbors. But as the mayor mentioned, if there are folks are available, if there are folks can safely address their sidewalks, they can. So that's our attention downtown and on city-owned sidewalks.
What about those folks who are traveling on sidewalks, obviously be afoot, some of the corridor, Winchester Road, we've seen some spots that are filled, piled up with snow, therefore people cannot walk on the sidewalk, therefore people are walking in the street. Now you got pedestrians on the main thoroughfare, Winchester Road, we have a lot of pedestrians, and some have been hit over the years without snow, but now they're out in the street, so now what?
The question is about pedestrians who are walking on the sidewalks, and my first observation is that we are asking people to stay in. Now, if you have to get to work, that's a different issue. And we are working with the sheriff's office and others to help people who need to get to hospitals and medical care. But the first rule right now is use your common sense, and if you don't have to be out, don't go out walking. Do not go for your 2-mile walk on sidewalks that aren't plowed and you're falling down. I mean, I'm asking people to pay attention to the weather and not be out even on the sidewalks if they don't have to. This is kind of a common sense thing. We're not operating as normal with sidewalks and roads. Okay, Chief is nudging me here.
Yeah,
He has
sorry.
a public safety take on this.
And I just, and we realize there's going to be some people who might have to get out and might have to walk. The only advice I can give you is if you're going to walk in the street, be very aware of your surroundings. Don't walk with your back towards traffic. If you have to walk facing traffic. So if you can see something coming, you can get out of the way. And you have to be mindful that if there's ice on the sidewalks, there might be ice on the roadways too. So be very, very, very aware of what you're doing. It's just one of those times we're not going to have the answer for everything. And we're not going to be able to protect everybody because we don't know what you have going on in your life and what you might need. But all I can tell you is be very aware and do the best you can. And if you don't have to be out, don't go out. Thank you.
What else?
You mentioned that the city was working on some help with maybe the sheriff's office getting people to medical facilities and so forth. Is there anything there to help employees at places like hospitals and so forth?
The question is about getting people to hospitals and medical appointments and people who work at hospitals. And I think you've been working on that, haven't you? Or sheriff's office with police, are you working with them? Sheriff's been really important for us.
And I have to give credit to Director Larkin. There's a lot of pre-planning that goes into that and our other public safety partners, and that includes Sheriff Witt. She steps up every time, and he's talking to the sheriff personally, and I have. So I'll let you, if you want to step in there and talk about what she's doing.
To my knowledge, that winter care program continues, and I know that they have transported hospital workers and healthcare workers to their workplaces. So as far as I know, that continues. We can follow up as well.
And we follow in with that as far as essential city personnel. For police, we're all emergency essential personnel, but there are civilians that work in the public safety sector too that might need transportation to and from work, and they're essential personnel. So we help provide that. And if there's anything the sheriff can't do, we try to assist with that, and the fire department tries to assist with that. Like I say, our public safety family and our public safety partners, we work very closely, and we start on that before the weather hits so we can make everything run as smoothly as possible. Thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you both. Other questions?
How is the city getting the message out to the public beyond this atmosphere about trash pickup? Some people are thrown off the schedule. How do people know when you're going to get back on an alternative schedule and back on schedule? How's the message getting out?
The question is about how the message is getting out about, it's a great question because things do change. We're changing things as we see what the weather does. How are we getting the message out? Not only do we have this press conference, so we're relying on our great partners from the media, but we put everything on our social media. We put everything on our lexingtonky.gov. Website is always kept up to date there on that band on the homepage at the top. And so all of our social media carries all the changes every day. So those are, and I do want to say, by the way, I thank our council members who've also been putting out this information in their electronic newsletters and their communications to their neighborhoods. So it's a pretty broad messaging. Have I forgotten anybody? Okay, you got one more.
So one of the other means of communication that we definitely use is our grassroots, right? We definitely like to use our employees for that message. Our employees are heavily active on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. So a lot of times it's just word of mouth, and that does work. But we do know that there are some individuals that might not still get that message. So our hope is that we will get a phone call through either be 311, Lex Call, or calling the Solid Waste Management Office directly. And that way we can at least get that on a list. And as we get that on the list, we can prioritize those collection sites and get that service rendered to those customers as soon as possible and safely for our workforce. I hope that answered your question.
The other thing is, that is also why we ask people to check on their elderly neighbors in particular, who may not be on social media or the website. And if you know that you have a neighbor who is elderly, who doesn't get out much, try to check on them. Okay, what other, text alerts? Do you want to talk about that? No. What other questions do you have? These are all great questions. Thank you. Appreciate you all very much, and appreciate you getting the word out also. Thank you.